Hey there, gang. Eric William here at Studio 35 in Columbus, Ohio, and we were just lucky enough to see the premiere of Clowntown. And speaking of luck, I happen to have writers, directors, producers, actors of Clowntown. Gentlemen, why don't you introduce yourselves, and let's get right into this and talk a little bit about Clowntown.
My name's Tom Nagel. I'm the director of Clowntown, also a producer.
Jeff Miller, writer and producer.
Brian Nagel, lead actor and producer.
Well, I tell you what, guys, thank you so much. And number one, thank you for having us down here at Clowntown. What a fantastic location to have a premiere here at Studio 35. It's kind of unlike any venue I think I've ever been to, with a bar, and they kind of let you take your favorite beverage into the into the theater.
This is amazing.
So it's been pretty fun, very unique. And speaking of unique, Clowntown was absolutely amazing. We touched a little bit on it after the movie. The concept of killer clowns, I think, has been done all over Hollywood, all over filmmaking, independent filmmaking. But what you guys brought to the storyline, you brought a depth, a layer, almost a family type atmosphere to this movie. And can you tell us a little bit about maybe the thought, the process that went into making such a kind of a deep independent film?
I'll let Jeff, the writer.
Okay. So I guess the story was inspired by the Bakersfield Clowns. In 2014, Bakersfield, California had some clowns. It was inspired by an art project, like a husband and wife team. And then people started dressing as clowns and carrying weapons, I think machetes and baseball bats, and there were reports of them chasing kids. And the sheriff was upset about it and warned people about doing this, and it was close to Halloween, but it made the news, and I said, that's a movie right there I can instantly see. And that kind of inspired, just like the scene where they're in the town, their car is broken down and they see Machete Clown, and that was kind of like the image in my head. I just saw this empty, vacant town, and all of a sudden you see somebody dressed as a clown. Like, it's just kind of creepy.
Yes.
So Brian, Tom and Brian and I were developing ideas, and I think I'd mentioned this one, and it just stuck. We all liked it, and we proceeded.
Well, it's absolutely amazing. What I think the imagery is what really stuck out in the movie. Just like you said, it's those little silhouettes, the ins, the outs, the quick edits. And I believe we also have one of the editors here. Can you talk a little bit about the editing process as an independent filmmaker? I think the biggest differences between Hollywood projects and independent projects, it's your baby. I mean, it's start to finish. You have to kind of see it through.
It is, and I mean, Hollywood has a lot more tools at their disposal than I do. So the biggest thing is even directing, knowing I was going to edit it. You just have to be creative, and you have to be. You just have to know and plan ahead, because we don't have 40 takes and tons of money to go back. Oh, I need 2 weeks of reshoots.
Right, exactly. That's key. Yeah.
Going into it, I knew kind of the style. I wanted to edit the film, and then also my DP Ken Stachnik. We worked really well together and really knew I need this shot, this shot, this shot to make this scene work. And I just didn't have the luxury of just shooting whatever and having tons of options. So it's part of the challenge and also the joy of independent filmmaking.
That's very true. I mean, I was actually going to ask the question. You kind of answered it. Was when you're director and editor, you kind of almost have to map out what you're going to do as an editor, so that as a director where you need to make your cuts, where you need to set up your shots, so that it kind of makes it a little easier for you in post.
Yeah, you have to, because it's so important, and for young filmmakers out there, the I guess quote unquote fun part of making movies is the filming part and then watching it.
Right.
But where the true work goes in it is in pre-production planning. The more you plan, the easier it will be, and the less headaches you'll have later on.
That's also another great segue into the planning, the pre-planning. Again, a lot of people don't look at it as far as filmmaking. Like you said, they want to get into it. They would just want to start filming. They want to start getting their scenes done, and then we're going to have a party afterwards and watch it. The pre-planning. You said you talked with the town where it was filmed, and how important is it really to get that planning phase in there to to know that you have the permissions, legalities of it. Can I shoot here? Can I shoot there? Because you don't want to get something shot and then all of a sudden you're ready to go to post and now somebody's like, oh, I really don't want you to film here.
Oh, it's extreme. I don't want to say it's the most important thing, but it is extremely important. I mean, it's right up there at the top.
Right.
The planning is everything. From like what you said, permits, getting permission to just figuring out actors, characters, knowing what you're going to edit. You really have to plan with independent, and that's. In the end, it's more rewarding because I think you can be more proud of something instead of going, if we would have just spent a week more trying to figure that out, we could have done it a little bit better.
Well, I tell you what, tell us a little bit about where you were able to film Clowntown. And during the Q&A, I think you said the city was really behind you, really helped you out. Maybe tell us a little bit about the city where it was filmed and a little bit more about that.
Brian and I have our own little production company called Steelhouse, and when we teamed up with Jeff Miller, I knew, and we knew, that we wanted to come back to Cleveland. We're both from Cleveland, and we love Ohio, and we had a connection with Bob Kurtzman. Jeff Miller and myself have both worked with him, and his Creature Corpse is down in Crestline, Ohio.
Right.
So we shot in Crestline, Westlake, Ohio, and parts of Cleveland.
Okay.
So Crestline is where we shot most of the film, and you can see the small town that we were able to shut down.
Yeah.
And I mean, for an indie filmmaker, that's like a dream come
That
true.
I was just about to say that doesn't happen.
No,
That's not your
happen.
typical. We're going to shut the town down.
No, we got extremely. We were extremely fortunate.
That's
for that.
amazing.
But the town, Bob and his team. This isn't Bob. This is Jeff. But Bob Kurtzman and his team are amazing. They welcomed us and the whole town of Crestline. We didn't have any problems. It was pretty much yes to everything, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
And you just have to respect that. You just have to work with the locals and respect it. And I mean, they were awesome. Absolutely awesome.
That's fantastic. And I tell you what, as far as acting now, we're going to keep going down the line here.
All right.
Acting, how do you find? I want to say the emotions. How do you find the motivation behind your character? When you're doing your reads, do you kind of already have an idea of what kind of character you want to have? Is it come from the director? Or does it all come from inside your mind?
I think it's a mix, and I think every set is different.
Mm-hmm.
But with Clowntown, Jeff and Tom and we did so much pre-planning, and we had photos of everything. And I was so lucky because as an actor, normally you don't get to see things until you're actually walking on set.
Right.
So I had seen a lot of things before I'd walked on set, which helped me with some extra preparation. And just working with Tom and the other actors was a pleasure because, when it came time to get into the moment, he was really there for, at the end of the movie, there's this really awesome scene where my emotions are really high, and Tom sat there with Lauren and I, and he's just like, guys, this is what's going on.
Okay.
And literally I was starting to cry and getting all emotional, and all this crazy stuff was happening, and it was fantastic. I think I'll finish with that.
Okay. And as an actor, how kind of, there was a lot of makeup involved, there was one in particular scene, I don't want to give it away, but there's just one in particular scene on a rooftop where you have that amazing scene that's just, but the makeup that goes involved, I guess I'm getting away from my point. How does it feel? Does it take away from anything if you're in makeup versus not in makeup? Is there more emotion that goes into it?
Well, going back to your other question,
yes.
I wanted to say this too, when you walk on set and you're getting in your moment and you're finding it, and then all of a sudden you see David Greathouse dressed as that freaky ass clown.
Yes,
it's so much easier. And Chris Hahn, with his huge brute self, and Ryan Pills. I mean, those guys they admitted that nastiness that we wanted, and it was really awesome to act just in front of that. But it also felt natural because anybody would be freaked out by those guys. But also to go back to what you were saying about that awesome, because that's my favorite scene too, because I feel like it's an emotional high for my character. It was just with that moment, I told Tom right after we shot, I was like, dude, that was one of the best moments of my life. And I didn't even realize that there's blood and makeup flying everywhere. I was just so into it.
It was.
It just felt so real. So it was a really awesome opportunity, and the makeup and blood flying in your face, you know,
It just kind of
keep rolling. You know,
well, and that's
until you hear cut.
right. Again, I'm not going to give it away, folks. You're going to have to go out and see Clowntown to see this scene. But again, it really was. It really drove home that moment, and I think everybody that watches it will feel what you were feeling. It's that, because trust me, I wanted to do that to that guy about 20 minutes before.
Cool.
So you kind of hit the nail on the head right there with when you see House and Chris and all the other guys just come out in that makeup. I mean, that was just, I don't know what the heck I'd do. Let's just say I probably wouldn't have hung out. But, well, I don't know what I would have done. But I tell you what, guys, Clowntown. Are we going to see a Clowntown 2? I mean, what's kind of left us hanging at the end? Again, go see it. But
yeah, we would love to do a Clowntown 2. I know the three of us as producers would be excited to revisit Clowntown, and we have some ideas floating around. So
all right, I'll tell you what.
Keep an eye out for it.
I was going to say, keep an eye out. And where can we find? How can people out there that weren't fortunate enough to be here at Studio 35 tonight? Where can we find Clowntown?
It's currently you can get it from Amazon, the DVD, and it's also streaming from Amazon. Walmart has it, iTunes, Google Play, and then it's various VOD channels. Time Warner, Comcast, Cox, Cablevision, AT&T, various on demand places.
All right.
So yeah.
And how about Facebook, websites, Twitter accounts? How can we find it?
Tom?
Well, the website is the Clowntown movie, or Clowntown the movie. The Clowntown movie.
The Clowntown. Yeah, there we go.
But if you go to the website, we have all our links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. So yes, please follow us. And then we'll keep the website updated for other things. There's also links on there for Amazon and iTunes to find the movie and buy it as well. So.
And how about merchandise? Some merchandise as well on there. T-shirts. I saw some people out here in.
Yeah, so we recently did a deal with a company that does Halloween masks and costumes. They do stuff for major movies like the Terminator series and Resident Evil, but they license our clowns for a line of Halloween masks to be available early next year.
Oh, wow.
So, be on the lookout for that. Wow. They get into a lot of Halloween stores, and their stuff's online, too. So
that's pretty
They're
cool.
called Ghoulish Productions, and it'll be, the Clowntown line.
All right, fantastic. And I tell you what, before we wrap it up here, how do we get a hold of you guys if somebody wants to find out more about you, you as an actor, producers, writers? You have websites, Facebook pages, Instagrams?
They can, the Clowntown movie.
Just through the Clowntown?
Yeah, you can find us all through Clowntown and then IMDb.
Okay.
I mean, I'm at Director Tom Nagel is my Facebook, and
you can find me, Mr. Brian Nagel.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're looking for our companies, Millman
Yes.
Productions, we're Steelhouse Productions.
Okay.
So yeah, if you just Google any of that, you'll find.
We'll find us. So they're not hiding, folks. Again, thank you so much, guys, for joining us on here and having this event here at Studio 35. It was absolutely amazing. Clowntown, folks. If you haven't seen it, then I don't know what you're waiting for. Go out, check it out on video on demand. Check it out the DVD. Go to Walmart, buy the DVD. Check out these guys. It's absolutely amazing. Again, thank you so much, guys. We're going to get you back here, right here on Indie Films Backstage. We'll see you soon.